Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming along tonight. I'm an abstract expressionist painter, and I work full-time as a professional artist from my studio in Crossover, just 15 minutes from Warragul in the direction of Bawbaw. It's generally a very peaceful and green environment, but on the 5th of February last year, we experienced just the opposite. The Bunyip Ridge fire was travelling at a very high speed toward our property, and we were very busy preparing for it, or trying to. Our aim was to stay together on the property, but when the power went down, so did our water pump, and my husband anxiously packed me and the dogs into the car, determined that we leave right now. Being forced to evacuate in the last moments was quite an ordeal on many levels. I felt extremely fragile within what had become a surreal and dangerous environment. It was not part of the plan, but neither was the firestorm. My car was nearly blown off the road as I drove down Bloomfield Road toward the highway, and the wind was so strong, and I can still feel the silent stares of our dogs, Garth and Tess, in the back seat behind me. I realised in that moment that I might possibly be leaving life as I knew it. Chris, our horse, my studio, my artwork, my house, my business, and I still don't know how I made it to my mum's house in Newborough, which by then was completely covered in soot, and there was an ominous darkness in the sky, much darker and heavier than from where I'd come. So certainly this was a catastrophic day. This event inspired the bushfire series, and these are the images that you see on the screen behind me, and also the burning bush, which is presented tonight on an easel over there. As mentioned initially, my style is abstract expressionism, and I would like to briefly explain that in more detail. I work from an internal reference point, and I work within the moment. I don't plan a painting. Through my work, I express a quality apart from an object. For example, the word poem is concrete. The word poetry is abstract. I build a relationship with work as I go along, and an exciting, nagging kind of feeling stems from my gut. I find it hard to leave the work once I've begun. Ideas don't pop into my mind. In fact, I paint well when my mind is clear. My whole heart is in every piece, in every mark, yet it does not dictate, and I become oblivious to any mood or emotion that I may have been feeling prior to picking up the brush. It all seems to wash away and nothing else matters other than the canvas in front of me. The nagging sensation stems from here, my gut, and I believe it is a gut feeling or an internal rudder that guides me toward a climax, a resonation before the work lets me go. And it's more akin to tuning a musical instrument than it is to painting in a traditional fashion. As a viewer, I can stand back and I see how strongly I'm influenced by my environment or my experience at the time. My work appears as an open diary of the soul, recording my experiences in a molecular fashion. Colour and texture are of utmost importance, and I have the urge to build and balance as I move forward with the work. I paint with the canvas on the floor, and the brush never touches the surface. It is very physical, and my body is continually stretching, reaching, and moving throughout the entire process. After the bushfire series, I naturally moved into the regeneration series, and then my soul series after returning home very ill from New York last year. My work is spontaneous, but spontaneous is slowed down, and I can step inside the zone. And this can go on for weeks at a time, and I can just imagine how hard I am to live with because it may seem that nothing else matters other than the work on the floor or the exhibition at hand. And of course, this is a never-ending cycle in my life. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge my husband, Chris, and my mum, Judy, who are here tonight. They are both so understanding of how important my work is to me, and for some crazy reason, they love me anyway. I also want to thank my personal sponsor, International Power Mitsui Loyang B, for supporting this project by collecting my very first piece in the bushfire series titled Firewall 2009 Anthony and Megan Harper, thank you so much for coming along tonight to witness this official presentation of the Fields of View project and for being a part of my artistic journey. Thank you. On behalf of my amazing colleagues, artists Leonie Ryan, Peter Byram, Werner and Ursula Tynert and myself, I would also like to sincerely thank the following people who have made tonight such a wonderful experience for all of us. Mr. Ted Ballew, MLA, Leader of the Opposition and Shadow Minister for the Arts, who isn't here currently, but I'm sure he'll catch this on video later. We are truly honoured that you have officially launched a new arts movement, Environmental Expressionism, inspired by Mr. Peter Byram, here in Queen's Hall, Parliament House tonight. Thank you also for acknowledging our group project, Fields of View, a touring art exhibition based on the Black Saturday fires and coordinated by artist Leonie Ryan. Thank you so much, Ted, and you really have made this an historical occasion and a night to remember. Thank you. Mr. Russell Broadbent, MP, Federal Member for Macmillan, we are so pleased that you could make it here tonight, and we really appreciate your time, your support, and your ongoing interest in what we do. And Russell, you mentioned before that you remember the first time I walked into your office. It was actually in Moe and not Warrigal. It was 2 lifetimes ago, not just one. It was many years ago, and actually I was talking with Janine there a little while ago in regard to our Moe Day campaign, which actually brought me into your office for the very first time. And as an artist, I think I'd even recently left TAFE and working in the studio in Newborough with some other artists, and I remember feeling nervous walking to your office for the first time. And I wasn't used to walking to somewhere so important. And we worked on the Moe Day campaign, and if it wasn't for your work and your support, that money wouldn't have been raised for the Moe Day campaign. And for those of you who don't know, there was a small committee of us that encouraged hundreds of people to come out on one day and surround the township of Moe and hold hands around the CBD while a helicopter flew over and took a photograph of the town, and it's all holding hands. It was pouring rain. Janine and myself were wondering if anyone would even turn up. And we had busloads of school children, we had people coming out in their raincoats, and that's what we did. We held hands around the Moe CBD. So Russell, thank you very, very much for all your support, and it's just been wonderful to know you. Thank you. And I would also like to thank our group sponsor, Gibbs TAFE. On behalf of the Fields of View artists, I would like to thank Dr. Peter Whitley, CEO of Gibbs TAFE, Jim Vivian, Dr. Philip Batchelor, David Bruce, and Head of the Art, Design and Media Department, Mr. Gary Dunbier. Gibbs TAFE has been a learning and growing experience for each artist within this group at some point. And we are sincerely grateful and encouraged by your ongoing interest and financial support in this project. And thank you for choosing to be a part of our future as professional artists. We really appreciate it. Thank you. I would also like to thank our very good friend and artist, Steve Gray, for being with us here tonight and for taking photographs to record these precious and historical moments. Thank you, Steve.